Okay, so unfortunately these jig heads come, and a lot of times they're painted over, the eye holes are.
Yes.
So basically what I do is, if you don't have any, I have a special tool that I use to do it. It's just, but what you can do is take a hook that you're not using
and just poke it in the paint.
And poke out the paint. So that's what we're gonna have to do. You're kind of sacrificing one of your hooks here. So if you want to keep this one,
but you can always sharpen it.
Yeah, you can always sharpen it later again, but if you want to take one and...
I just heard a fish right over there.
If you want to just take one of the other hooks that's in the package, you
yes, Dad, that's much better.
Chip out the paint, and that will allow you to run your line through it. And then just set this one, I like to do them all at once, so they're all ready to go. So if you want to take the one that you know is a little dull and keep the paint on it so you know which one it is and set it off to the side or put it back in the package, that's fine. So I like to do them all at once, but all I did was poke the paint out. Now we have a hole here, and what we can do
is now string our line through it like I did right over here.
Yeah, so Vivian's already taken the line
and threaded it through the pole.
You run it through. Can you get a shot on the pole, Viv?
You just run it through all these
eye holes all the way up to the top. And all the way back down. Now when you do that, you want to push the button here.
Yeah. And I just unthreaded it because the drag was really, really low.
Yeah, we're going to talk about the drag in just a second, okay? So, all right, so when we tie this, it's just a basic cinch knot.
So we just put it through the hole that we have unhooked with the other hook. The line through it. It's kind of invisible. And then after you put it underneath the other line and then twist it, or you can just twist the hook around. Twisting the hook around is probably easier, like Dad is doing right now.
So after we've done that, are we on the
just
screen
put
here?
it through that little hole that you can see right in the bottom there, but not the hole in the hook, but in the line.
Through the line here. And then after you pull that through,
you just tighten both ends.
You come back through the loop that you have here. All right. So go through once, come back through, and then pull. And then I put this in my teeth. I take this up, hold it, cinch it down, and then just pull it tight. And you can
just hold it in your teeth. Don't pull on it in your teeth.
You just kind of hold it so you can cinch everything down. And then you can take your pliers
and snip the end off when it's if it gets too long.
So I know that was a pretty quick and dirty explanation of a knot. The great thing about this pole is Vivian noticed that
there's directions to it.
There are directions on how to tie that basic knot, and they're right here. They come with the rod and reel combo. So if you need a quick refresher while you're out here, you can just look at this, and they give you directions to a Palomar knot too. So we did the cinch knot. It's one of the easier ones.
It's the easiest knot.
And we use that one quite a bit. So yeah, you can just pull these directions out to help you out, which is pretty handy. Right now that we've got our jig head tied on, we're gonna connect our bobber onto our line. And then okay, now we're going to just connect this bobber onto the line. Vivian's gonna hold the camera for me here real quick.
Try to.
So all you do is pull this spring back.
Find the little hole and then stick the line in the hole.
And then let go of the spring and it will hold it in place. You can wrap it around once if you really want to hold it in place. We like to change the depth. So this is it's not going too deep. That's a foot. But if we want to slide it up a little bit,
and just slide
there
it
we
up.
go. Now it's like at 18 inches or 2 feet. So I think, where do we want to keep this one at today? Start with it.
Probably at least like 1 foot.
Okay. We like to start shallow and then go deep if we're not getting any bites. Okay. All right, there we go. Viv, do you want to tear off a piece of this night crawler and put on?
I'm just going to put the whole thing on.
No, let's just put a piece on. Just tear the tail off. So Vivian
it's very easy to tear it off.
She tore the tail off of the night crawler.
I'm just going to put it on the normal way that, pooped on me. Stop pooping on me. I knew that this was a poop-filled worm.
Can you turn this way a little? There we go.
Nope.
So let everybody see what you're doing.
I'm just wrapping it around on the hook. It's not the best way to do it, but it's the way that we like to do it, right, Dad?
Yeah, I mean, it varies. If they're pulling them off really easily, we
then what you do
just
is
try
you
a different
thread
way.
it through.
Yeah, we thread them through the body of the worm sometimes.
We haven't done that for a long
Can I
time.
see for a second? So we thread them through the body of the worm sometime, and what Vivian did here is she just hooked it around a couple times, and we'll pull it down so that hook point is exposed, and we'll see if they can pull it off. Sometimes they can pull it off, and sometimes they don't, and we'll give it a try. All right, so in order to use your drag, basically what the drag does is the fish comes up and it pulls the line, and the drag determines how much tension is going to be on the line before it releases it. So you can lessen the drag by turning it to the minus side, or you can increase it by turning it to the plus side. We kind of like it where Vivian can, you want to give a pull. So yeah, that's what it hears when the fish is pulling on the drag. And what it does is wears the fish out without putting too much tension on your line. If the drag is too tight to the plus side, you can break your line if a big fish comes and takes it, or if they get under a snag. If you have it too much on the light side, it can be difficult. Yeah, it can be difficult to set your hook in the fish when you give it a little jerk. So, and it can also be difficult to reel in the fish, you know, and they can have time to run and hide sometimes under bushes and get in snags and stuff. So you want it kind of in between. You want it tight enough that you can set your hook and that the fish doesn't have time to get under snags, but you want it loose enough that you don't put too much tension on your line and break your line. So that's always the balance that we try to strike. Okay, now we'll talk about casting out your line. So when you go to cast out your line, you push this button, and then you flip your pole and you let go as you're doing it, and your bait and your bobber will go flying out into the water. And after it's in the water, you reel this reel a little bit and you'll hear a popping sound, and that means that it's locked.
And then afterwards you leave it if you have like a bobber, but if you have a reel-in thing, you just reel it in and cast it out.
Yeah. Okay, so Vivian's going to demonstrate how to do that for us. She's used to a spin caster reel, which is on the bottom, so she's going to try to do it the right way for this one, on the right hand side. She's used to left hand side, but we'll give it a shot. Okay, so Vivian's going to demonstrate casting out. She's going to cast out to the open there, pushing the button, holding it, letting it go. Oh man, and look, it went way out there. It was a great cast, lots of weight on there, and then she reeled it just a little bit and clicked it. And now she's going to wait and to see if she can get a fish out there. You can see the bobber, it's bright orange out there, and she's going to wait and see if something comes along to bite it.
Keep on fishing. Just going to toss that out there. Right over here, maybe. Kind of. Oh. Fish on! That one. First fish. It's about, here, let me measure it with my hand. I know how big my hand is. 6 inches. At least 6 1/4. Bluegill. Upside down. Oops.
Little fish for the GoPro.
So this is Dad fish.
How to take them off?
Okay, I'll show you how to take them off. What you do is first, how you actually pick them up is first, you see the underfins, you just push down the underfins, and then after you put your finger up and then just pet down the spines, and then just pet down the spines on the bottom, and then after just grasp the fish and then pull the other direction of the hook, and then he should be out. How you release them is, if this was like the water, you just let go, but since this is the water, all you do is just do this and then toss them in and they're gone. You let them go. Easy.